We have a major challenge here, which is to feed the world by 2050. Now, it's estimated that to feed the world by 2050, the planet is going to have to produce about 70% more food than it is today because of population growth, the impacts of climate change, urbanization, and so on. So how do you do that? Well, I think that journalism can play a really key role in helping to tackle some of these major food security issues. Over the years, we've trained something like 13,000 journalists in more than 120 countries. And I think we're particularly well positioned to do this because of two reasons. One is the global footprint and reputation of Reuters News, which allows us to operate pretty much everywhere. The other one is the Thomson-Reuters trust principles, which lie at the heart of all of our training. So these two things together allow us to do an awful lot in the world of journalism training and media development. Food security is one of the big stories of our century. Every night, I think 1 in 9 people go to bed hungry. That's about 800 million people worldwide. And 3/4 of those people live in rural areas. At the same time, about 80% of food consumed in the developing world is produced by smallholder farmers. So if you get to the very roots of rural development, you're tackling food security at its very roots on the ground. Traditionally, we've focused on where the needs are. So we've looked at, we focused on countries where perhaps media is not as strong or well-developed or, shall we say, as free as it is perhaps in the West. So we focused on developing skills in countries in transition, say, coming out of conflicts or out of repressive regimes. In those kinds of contexts, often we're dealing with the very basic skills of good journalism. Increasingly, though, we're finding that we're going right to the other extreme, which is working with newsrooms all across the world. We might help journalists, newsrooms in Africa, say, develop deep skills on how to do investigative journalism on illicit financial flows, and then stick with those newsrooms as they conduct investigations that hopefully have real resonance both within their countries and globally. Data is the glue that connects all these different dots between food insecurity, policy, climate change, economics, finance, you name it. Data is the glue. And we now live in a world of open data, a world where increasingly journalists can mine deep data sets to tell stories and make connections that they couldn't make before. So I see data very much as the glue that helps connect the dots.